Probably one of the most powerful features of the NATA website is the Google Earth Maps. It'll allow you to get most of the information you've seen in a tabular format above in a more visual type format, and we have a series of Google Earth maps that we've put together. These are actually KMZ files. Once you have Google Earth installed on your computer, you'll be able to instantly open these files. Keep in mind, at the very top of this section there is an important instruction. Print this out and look at it. It'll tell you how to use this feature, what these colors represent on the maps, and most importantly, how to get Google Earth, and make sure you follow the license procedure from Google itself on Google Earth. But once you have all that squared away, you can download these files state by state. We'll download one for Maryland, for instance. Save it to your hard drive. I'm going to open it here for the sake of showing it to you, but your best results is to save it to your hard drive, not to open it off of the browser itself. You'll get a zip file open up. You'll also need some type of a decompression type software. Most of the newer versions of Windows have this built into it. If you don't, you may want to get a copy of PKZip or some type of unzip type software. We do this to save space. But anyway, you'll notice 4 different files that are contained within the zip file. Simply click on one of those and it will launch Google Earth. We'll click on the one that says NATA 05 version 4 plant locations, and it'll launch my Google Earth. And that should open up in a second, and I'll zoom into the state of Maryland. And you'll notice a series of pink little bubbles. Reminds me of bubble gum or something here. And if you click on each one of these little bubbles, these are actually point sources that are contained within the National Air Toxic Assessment on our point source inventory. You'll notice also several of them that have the shapes of little airplanes. These are airports that are contained within NATA. And if I can click on one of those, you'll see what this airport is, and it has an ID code at the top as well as what pollutants are emitted from that airport. You'll also notice in that zip file 3 other files, and these are actually the risk results. We have the cancer risk file under risk, the respiratory, non-cancer risk results, as well as the neurological risk results. So let's click on the cancer one, and it'll also add that on as another layer into our Google Earth file. You'll notice on the left side here, you'll have under your places, it's placed this information for you. It'll place the cancer risk county by county. So if you're interested in the whole state, just leave them all checked. If you're just interested in a particular county, you could turn them off and turn on that county that you're interested in. Just like that, just by undoing these little check marks, as well as the information on these. If you're not interested in the sources that I just showed you, you could turn those on and off as well with these little check boxes on the left side of your Google taskbar here. But let's zoom in. Let's say we're particularly interested in a census tract in a particular part of that state where you might live or might work, and you wanted to have further information on what NATA is predicting the cancer risk in that particular tract is. You can click on it, and you'll get a pop-up box that gives you information as far as what county it's in, the FIPS or the identification code, the tract number, as well as what the cancer risk in that tract is, or NATA is predicting, as well as the sources that are contributing to it, whether it's coming from point sources, non-point sources, on-road mobile. This one I've clicked on, which the majority of that coming from on-road mobile sources, about 35%. And you can see some of the highways that are around here that would make sense that you have a lot of mobile source influence on this tract itself. It also gives you the pollutants that are contributing to that census tract. This one here has formaldehyde contributing over 40% of the risk, and you can see the other pollutants that are here as well. If we were interested in a particular point source in your locale, like I said, you could turn that on and look at those point sources. And none in that track itself, but you can click on these little pink bubbles, and it'll give you information on what that particular point source is, its address, its NEI ID, which is important if you want to look it up and get some further information on that particular source itself, and what the key pollutants that are contributing to that risk might be. We've kind of listed the ones here that are contributing to either the mass of pollutants coming to that facility or contributing to what we call the cancer or non-cancer risks from that facility. So we listed those here for you. as kind of a guide, but to get, like I said, further information, take this NEI ID, plug it into the database at the top of the results NATA web page. Right here, and you'll be able to pull up all the information on that particular facility itself.